Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about why making an art channel isn't for you as an artist. Why making art videos is a terrible idea. I want to talk about this not because I regret making this art channel. In the past 2.5 years, I've produced more than 300 videos and I have learned a lot and met a lot of wonderful people. It's not like I'm telling you don't come here because it's a bad place to be, but on the contrary, I've found that a lot of people thinking that it is so easy, it is so lucrative to start an art channel, and they were thinking that it will solve all of their problems as an artist. I don't think this is the case, and maybe in the past I've made a lot of videos very positive and maybe too encouraging, that like start a video now is the opportunity of a lifetime, you'll be making money, yes, but no. I want to show you the two sides of the story, not only the happy-go-lucky positive ones, but also a little bit less positive ones. And this video is inspired by a lunch I had with an artist friend of mine. He was having an art channel before on YouTube, and then he stopped. And I went to see the videos were good, so I was like, why don't you start again? Because I'm sure you're so engaging, you'll be able to find your community, make money, make a living from it. And he was like, no, I've been there, done it, got the t-shirt, but no, this is not something I would like to do because it's not for me. The reasons are 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like those reasons were really legit. And I've met a lot of artists who struggle with those things. That's why I'm making this video. So maybe it's a long video, so I'll put timestamps below so you can navigate to the parts you're interested in. Before getting to today's video, I just want to give you a quick life update. As you can see, I'm in a messy room. I just moved back to Europe from China. I was in China for almost half a year. I had some wonderful time visiting art galleries, art fairs with my family and friends, and everything was good, but I decided to move back for my PhD study in documentary filmmaking, and I'm going to start a whole new project, which I will explain later because I understand not everybody is interested in my private life, my future projects. It's a bit too personal, so I'll leave it to the end. So now, without further ado, let's get into today's video. The 7 reasons why making art videos isn't for you as an artist. The reason number 1. If you don't have a lot of time, then starting an art channel isn't for you. And I say that because I've talked to a lot of artists who are part-time artists, part-time workers. They have like a day job, then they work a lot during their evening time, spare times like weekends, trying to boost their art careers, but they needed some exposure, they needed some money, so they were thinking about making a art channel or art vlog channel that would bring them, money and stuff, which is true. But it takes a lot of time. For example, for each video I make, I would need like 6 to 8 hours because I would need to prepare it. Write the script, memorize the script. Maybe you are more simultaneous than me, you're a native speaker, you don't need to. But then there are a lot of retakes. Like you do one go and then you're like, nah, I don't like it. You do another one, then you don't like it. And sometimes your kids, your cats, your dogs started walking into the room and ruin your shoot. Or maybe you shared the studio with some other friends, fellow artists, and they had something going on over there and they ruin your videos. So you have to do it again. And on average, for each video I produce, I would need to retake 40 to 50 times. That's a lot of retakes, but this is the reality. Honestly speaking, this is the amount of work and the amount of time you must be willing to spend if you want some results. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Right now I'm sitting down at the Starbucks cafe. Right here, you see the logo here, and next to an elevator going up. A lot of people thought the elevator was going down, so they rush and then they got blocked, they got crushed by the upward stream and they scream. So this is my retake number 43. I have the proven evidence they scream, so I had to retake my video because I really couldn't focus after someone yell and scream in pain right in front of me, literally. And every week all over again, a new video, new scripts, and after post-production, which is also a lot of time. And even I was trained as a filmmaker. I went to undergrad and postgrad in film studies, film productions, and now I'm doing a PhD in film. Still, it takes me a lot of time doing it. Reason number 2, if you don't have a lot of resources, financial resources, then making it a serious business might be out of the question. I say that because if you want to just make videos for fun, you can pick up your phone, just do it, there's no problem. But if you want to make a serious business, like monetize your videos, then it becomes another kind of game. You need semi-professional cameras, or even like really good ones, like full frame, DSLR or mirrorless. You will need something that would cost anything between $500 to $2,000. Then you need audio equipment, a tripod, lights, software, and even something like a USB card reader. All of the things would cost, so I would suggest you to prepare anything from $1,000 to $2,000 to be able to make some high quality videos. I used to use very professional ones for work because they rent it, the workplace have it. And now I'm a PhD student, so I go back to studying. I don't have a lot of money. So recently I just purchased a camera that is produced last year. It's a Lumix G100, and that is okay. But today, if you want to buy a bundle with the lens, with the handle or microphone, it would cost you over $700 for like an entry-level micro four thirds little, I would call it a camcorder, because it's not a very big or professional camera. It's prosumer or consumer, but it's money and it adds up, let alone the audio equipment, which I bought as well. Like my old sound table didn't have a USB connection, so I had to buy a new one that is $100-something. Then I bought a lot of new microphones. I show you, I bought this Rode Reporter and a lot of other condenser microphones, dynamic microphones, a lot of them, and all of them cost money. And before you know it, you'd be spending thousands of dollars on some equipment that would help you improve the quality just by a little bit to be able to compete in the arena of content creators or professional content creators who aim to make money, monetize out of their videos. Number 3, if you don't like to talk on camera, if you don't want to show your face, then making art channel really isn't for you. And I say this because a lot of artists told me that they have seen some famous channels, big artists, that they could get away without showing their face. Like they show half of their face from back, they show maybe animated face or just voiceovers. They could because there's a bit of a survivor's bias. You saw that they could and you think you could, but maybe it would be a lot difficult for you than for them because they had something. Maybe their voice was super attractive and your voice is average. My voice is average, so I just tell you that, I'm not saying that, you're bad, I'm good. No, I know that my voice isn't so good. I'm not so good with many other things, so I decided to show my face. Although it's awkward for me, I've always been the person behind the camera and I've never been the person in front, and now I have to show my face. I have to get used to it. I even literally had to learn how to draw eyeliners to be able to make videos because I didn't. In my daily lives, I wear just maybe foundation and, like some kind of sun protection. I was not the person who wear makeup at all. I did this because I knew if I want to have some levels of engagement to cover up some other bad aspects, such as my accent, like I'm not native to English, as you can hear, so I will need to at least put on a big smile and make my dentist proud and make that engagement. So if you think that you're not excellent, you're not the world top one for something, like for your technique, for your voice, for whatever in your niche, I'm saying world top one in your niche, I'm not saying like top one period, you want to show your face to be able to make up for the other aspects. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult to compete today on social media. Number 4, if you're not willing to talk about others, then it would be very difficult for you to make your channel big, to grow your channel. I know that when artists started their channel, they did not think about being an art critic or some sort of a lifestyle influencer talking about art fairs, events, exhibitions. but eventually you will have to talk about other artists. Maybe some artists inspired you, like old masters, maybe some friends at school, maybe your studio mates who you share the space with. I don't know, like you must be willing to talk about other people in your life that are related to art, because after a year of talking about yourself, like me, it becomes old. People lose interest, and also you appear to be someone a bit selfish, a bit self-centered, if you're not willing to show other people's works on your channel. And especially if you grow to like 5K, 10K, and then you don't want to give this opportunity to smaller channels, like to endorse them, to make collabs. People can think you are just very arrogant, so that's not a very good image to have. This is another reason why you should consider making other artists appear on your channel after a while. Number 5, if you're not very good with technology, it could be a very big problem for you to run your channel. And I say that because recently I was helping some artists who struggled a lot with editing softwares. An artist who struggled with iMovie because she wanted to make vertical IGTV and shorts, they're vertical, but she couldn't because iMovie did not support. Maybe in the future they would, but right now they do not support vertical images, so that she had to learn how to trick the system. And I told her to use Premiere Pro. And then after I was helping another artist that I coach, he was struggling with connecting iPad and iPhone to the PC computer because Windows and Macs, they don't work together very well. This is a new problem for me, and I couldn't help so well because I used always Apple computers, MacBook Pros, iPhones and iPads and everything with Apple. So for me to use PC and try to like adapt to a new workflow, it was difficult, and it was a particular case. But when you choose a system that might not be from the same producer, you will come across technological hurdles like this, and you must be willing to take your time and overcome it and learn it. And it's a constant self kind of renewal process. It's not comfortable, but you will get so much from it. But again, you will have to be willing to learn it. Number 6, if you are impatient, then maybe starting an art channel really is a bad idea. I say this because a lot of people think they would be able to monetize in 3 months to 6 months. And I have seen lifestyle influencers would grow to 1 million in less than a year and a half. And that was like very fast. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm happy for you. But again, as an artist, you are always more niche. You are constrained by your kind of art, what you're willing to talk about, that is, your art, your history. Likely you are not going to talk about your private life. Maybe that is something you're considering, but without talking about your private life, more like lifestyle kind of gossip topics, it's very hard to gain followers. And I will tell you, because it took me a year to grow to 1K to get monetized, and then it took me another year to grow to 10K. So after 2 years and a half, I am where I am. A lot of people thought it would be easy, but no, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of investment in both energy, also equipment, also opportunity cost as well. So if you're thinking to monetize it fast, it's fast money, I have to disappoint you. It is the opposite. You would spend likely 1 or 2 years until you could make the first dollar from YouTube. Maybe with TikTok or other things, maybe in the future you have other opportunities, but I'm just saying from my experience with YouTube, it's not fast money and you have to be very patient. Number 7, if you're not willing or able to handle tedious paperwork like taxes, it might be a big turn-off for you to actually get into this kind of business. I say business because you will start making money with YouTube, and then you would start moving to merchandising, like selling downloads, maybe Patreon kind of donation. And your tax reports will get really complicated. I don't know where you're based. Maybe in the US, there are some states it's easier to file taxes. But right now in Europe, it's super complicated to file taxes with a mix of passive income, active income. Although I went to business school, I can do my own accounting, but because I live in Spain, I fell in Spanish. I did not feel very comfortable, so I worked with an accountant for the past 8 years, and she was a very straightforward, very capable professional lady, and she told me, if you are to sell digital downloads like ebooks or kind of illustrations, I can tell you that it will cost you more in the accounting fees than the money you would be able to make from digital downloads, because she explained to me how complicated, with this kind of Spanish system, European system. And I was shocked because my, let's say, American style business school did not teach me anything about it. And I totally agreed with her that, being in where I am right now is not a good idea. So I stayed with Patreon and the passive income from YouTube. At least that was easier for me. But if you were thinking about to start YouTube, to sell merchandising, to do this and this and that, I would say consult with a CPA beforehand so that you have a whole picture. And also that right now YouTube is asking their YouTubers, the channel owners, to declare their taxes. If not, they will take 24% as retention, and they would only give you the rest after the 24%. That is a big chunk they are keeping. This is not from YouTube. YouTube does not get to keep the money, but it will be for the government. And this is something I guess is coming to every country, to every platform. And soon enough, I can imagine like Patreon and other smaller sites will start to retain your income, so that you would not evade any taxes. This is the reality today. I'll show you the reports that I have to file for 2020 alone, and those are like my receipts and stuff. If you're not willing to adapt to the tax reality, to the financial structure and legislation as a content creator, then it's that clear that making art videos on the platforms will not be a good idea for you, because then you will get into more legal trouble than the money that potentially you will earn from making those videos. So now you have heard all the 7 reasons why starting a art channel isn't a good idea for you. Again, I'm making this video not to discourage you from starting a channel. I still think it's a good idea if you can handle the hurdles and potential side effects from making those videos. It's time consuming, it's a lot of hard work, you will not get any money anytime soon, and you have to be willing to also take the online criticism, and sometimes people can be very rude or cruel to you. If you are very sensitive to those kind of comments, maybe it's another thing to consider. But I mean, like anything, making any kind of business, making any kind of projects or career, there are always good side and bad side. You just have to weigh them and make your own rational, conscious decisions and stick to it over a long time, and you'll be able to see some results. All right, so before closing, I just want to quickly continue my life update. I enrolled in this PhD program in documentary filmmaking, and then some artists started asking me, like, can you make a documentary about my art? And I was like, why not? Like, I don't mind making videos, but then I can only say yes to so many people at once. I have limited time, I have this channel to run, I have my studies, I have other responsibilities. So I was thinking, why not teaching artists making documentaries on their own, so they don't depend on me, so they can be very, very independent with their directions. They can run their own channel. They can make this documentary for some kind of festivals maybe one day, or even just to keep it for their own private purposes, like later they can show their kids. This is what I did when I was young, before I had you. That's kind of cool as well. So I was thinking maybe I can make something that help artists get my know-how from my experience, from my years of education, how to do it. I was thinking maybe just create a playlist, like a YouTube series. But then again, YouTube isn't really made for those kind of online learning, systematic learning, because I cannot follow up. I cannot really give PDFs as well. Like, it's very difficult to build an online course just with YouTube alone. but I don't want to use a system that is expensive for artists or for me or for both of us. So tentatively, I'm thinking about Patreon. So I do have a Patreon page. For those of you who don't know, you can check it out. And I'm now thinking about making it available and free for patrons that who pledge over $9.99 or over $10. And I can also mentor and help them with follow-ups, with a lot more support than just throwing a YouTube video just into the world and push it there and and over with. I don't really know how I'm going to make it because this is again something I've just came up with. I feel a bit very hard to reorganize myself now with given constraints and given time limitations. Time management is a task for everybody. It's difficult to navigate. So that's my plan. Before finishing again, another insert. I want to give a big thanks to our patrons, especially the new patron. All right, so I better finish because there is a time limitation of 30 minutes on my DSLR. So thank you very much for staying with me for the entire 20-something minutes. Thank you and see you next time.